Okay, let's think about this for a second. What if running isn't just, something we do?
Like ticking a box, a workout.
Exactly. A workout, a race, maybe just clearing our heads. What if it's actually something, well, deeper?
Uh-huh. Something that teaches us.
Yeah. Something that sort of quietly or persistently teaches us who we really are. It feels so simple, right?
Yeah.
Just putting one foot in front of the other.
Deceptively simple.
But maybe that simplicity unlocks some pretty profound truths about our own capacity, our resilience, maybe the whole landscape inside us.
That's a beautiful way to put it. That this physical act, which, let's face it, often gets framed as just about fitness or speed or distance.
Right, the metrics.
Could actually be an end in itself. But not just for the body, for the spirit, too. It kind of turns the mundane maybe into this really personal, almost philosophical journey. Like you're finding wisdom, but not in a book.
In the stride.
In every single stride, yeah.
Absolutely. And that kind of inquiry, that turning inward through just moving, that's exactly what we're exploring today here on the Runner's Paradox podcast. We're really digging into Chapter 10 of the Runner's Paradox. And this chapter is all about empowerment through running, but maybe not the way we usually hear that word thrown around.
Right. It's definitely not about just the PBs or, winning things.
No, it's way more internal than that. It's about this quiet, almost invisible buildup of, well, agency, resilience, self-trust. The stuff running seems uniquely good at fostering inside us.
And this whole series, the Runner's Paradox podcast, is really about bringing the book, The Runner's Paradox, to life, isn't it? Going beyond the page with stories and folding in some of the latest research, too.
Exactly. We want to help you listening in really grasp these deeper kind of transformative parts of running and how they mirror life's bigger challenges and wins.
And if you want to explore more of Ying's thinking, her reflections, and just get a better feel for the philosophy behind all this,
where should people go?
Head over to therunnersparadox.com. You can find info there about getting the book, The Runner's Paradox, and other resources too.
Perfect. Okay, so let's unpack this word, empowerment. Because in the endurance world, gosh, it gets used a lot.
Oh, yeah. All the time?
And maybe it's dangerously misunderstood sometimes. It feels like we often boil it down to stuff we can see and measure.
Like pure grit, or how fast you are, or, the trophies on the shelf.
Right, like we've turned empowerment into this commodity almost, a prize you get for being exceptional. But Ying, in The Runner's Paradox, offers something richer, subtler, and maybe more sustainable.
That's such a key point. The book really pushes back against that narrow view. It presents empowerment not as this big reward for being amazing, but as something much more internal and crucially, like you said, sustainable. It's about getting back your sense of agency.
Agency, that feeling of being in control of your own choices, your actions, even when everything else feels like chaos.
Exactly that. And it's about expanding your self-understanding. Through the simple act of running, you start to really learn what you're made of, what you can actually handle. And maybe the most important bit is strengthening that inner voice, the one that tells you you're strong, you're capable, you're worthwhile, completely separate from any race result or leaderboard.
So it's a shift away from looking outside for validation
to building it inside, an internal sense of power. Yeah.
And there's this one line from Ying that it perfectly captures this shift, I think. It really sticks with you. She writes, "You didn't just endure something hard, you chose it. Wow. And that changed you."
Wow. Yeah.
It's more than just a nice phrase, isn't it? Ying calls it a phenomenological turning point. Can you help us understand that?
Yeah.
It's like the way we feel about the run and ourselves in the run fundamentally changes.
You nailed it. Yes. A phenomenological turning point is exactly that. A major shift in your subjective experience, how you personally see and understand something.
So running stops being just this task you do.
Right. And it becomes this internal process that's actively reshaping who you are. The feeling changes. It goes from just, physical effort.
Huffing and puffing.
To this powerful way of reclaiming yourself. And that quote is pivotal because it points to the real power, not being in the difficulty itself, but in the conscious choice to engage with it. When you decide deliberately, okay, this is uncomfortable, but I'm going to keep going, you're not just building leg strength.
You're doing something inside.
You're actively shaping your inner world. You're proving to yourself you have this fortitude that's way beyond just physical ability. And that self-reclamation is huge because it's about recognizing your own power, a power that doesn't need an audience or a medal.
So it's not just getting to the end goal. It's the decision to even start down that path. And then day after day, choosing to keep going. That initial yes, that's the game changer.
That's the core of it, which leads us really nicely into this idea of embodied agency.
Embodied agency. Okay.
Think about our lives today. So often we're stuck dealing with layers of red tape, or endless digital forms, or needing someone else's okay before we can actually do something we want to do.
Oh, absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Trying to get anything done can feel like navigating a maze sometimes.
But running's different. It's one of those rare things where your intention and your action just click directly, seamlessly. No waiting, no complex system.
That is such a great point. There's no algorithm deciding if you can, no manager signing off, no digital hoops to jump through. It's like Ying puts it so simply in the book, it's just feet and ground.
Just feet and ground, yeah.
You decide to run, and then you run. That simplicity, that directness must be incredibly empowering on its own, especially when so much else feels indirect.
It really is. And Ying captures this feeling so well when she reflects the act of continuing to run when no one is watching and nothing is promised is its own vote of self-trust.
Wow. Say that again? Its own vote of self-trust.
Yeah. Just think about that. You're out there, maybe it's cold, maybe you're tired, no one's making you do it, there's no race number on.
No Instagram post planned.
Exactly. And yet, every step you take in that moment is like casting a ballot for yourself, for your commitment to yourself. It's intrinsically validating.
It's like performative.
Not at all. And that self-trust isn't built in one big, heroic moment. It's built in all those tiny, deliberate choices to just keep moving. It's that quiet conviction that keeps you going way longer than any external reward ever could. It becomes like this ingrained habit of believing in yourself.
Which feels very solitary, doesn't it? You know, just you, the road, your thoughts.
Yeah.
But you're saying there's more to it. Even when you're alone, support matters.
Well, here's the interesting thing. Even though running often feels really solitary, the empowerment it builds isn't totally isolationist. It seems to be rooted in both that self-belief we just talked about and a kind of relational energy.
Relational energy. How does that work when you're running by yourself?
It's fascinating. We might be physically alone, but the strength we gain isn't built in a total vacuum, separate from our connections. There was actually a study mentioned looking ahead to 2025 on mental states and support perception in runners.
Okay.
And it found that even when you're out there solo, just the perception of support, feeling like you belong to a community, even if they aren't physically there, can significantly boost the strength you're building.
So it's not about needing someone literally cheering you on every step.
Not necessarily. It's more knowing you're part of something bigger, that others get it, they value this crazy thing you do, that your effort isn't just pointless or weird to everyone else.
That makes sense. It's like the psychological fuel of connection. Even when you're miles from anyone, it stops that loneliness of the long-distance runner feeling, maybe.
Exactly. It reframes it. It turns what feels like an isolated act into something that feels somehow affirmed by others.
That's a really powerful idea. That feeling of being understood, supported, even from afar, prevents it from becoming just lonely suffering.
Right. It taps into our basic human need for connection, for belonging. Even when we're pursuing something highly individual, that social piece still plays a part in strengthening our inner resources. It means the effort is yours, but the context, the psychological backup, can be relational.
Okay, let's dig deeper into this because it's clearly about more than just the physical. We talk a lot about stronger legs, healthier hearts.
Yeah.
The obvious stuff.
The usual benefits.
Yeah, but the runner's paradox really emphasizes how running strengthens the whole person. Mind, spirit, not just muscles. How does that actually work, this holistic thing?
It really is holistic, and it's maybe the most compelling reason to run beyond just physical health. One key way is what the book calls a body-first approach to stress.
Body first. Meaning?
Meaning instead of trying to talk yourself out of anxiety or think your way through overwhelm.
Which often doesn't work anyway.
Right. The simple, rhythmic act of putting one foot in front of the other gives you a direct physical way to ground yourself. That repetition actually helps calm the brain.
Oh, by shifting focus.
Exactly. It pulls your focus from those abstract, often spiraling worries back to the concrete present. Your breath, your feet hitting the ground, the movement of your arms.
You become very aware of just being in your body.
Yes. And that's not just a distraction. It's actively repatterning your nervous system. It encourages the rest and digest side over the fight or flight. It creates this really crucial space for healing, for better emotional regulation. And when you pay attention during training, when you learn to manage the aches, the fatigue, you start responding thoughtfully. instead of just reacting. Ying talks about building somatic memory and somatic endurance.
Somatic, like body-based.
Yeah, your body's own ingrained wisdom about movement, its intelligent way of handling discomfort. It's not just physical training, it's mindful processing of effort. Your body learns resilience.
So it's like giving your nervous system a gentle, steady workout, too. Moving from inner chaos to feeling more grounded through the physical act. And you mentioned this awareness also strengthens identity. The book calls running a mirror to our innermost being. That's quite an image.
It really is, because running doesn't just show you your physical limits, it holds up a mirror to your mental and emotional ones too, which is powerful, but
There's a downside.
well, it means that if that runner identity gets threatened, maybe through injury or just the natural process of aging and slowing down, it can feel devastating.
Ah, yeah, if your whole self-worth is tied up in performance.
Precisely. As Ying shows through some really moving stories in the book, if you equate your value with your speed or distance, these setbacks feel like they erase who you are. It's not just physical, it feels existential.
That sounds incredibly tough.
It is. But here's the paradox again. Those exact moments of vulnerability, of being sidelined, are also massive opportunities. They force you to redefine strong.
Moving beyond just physical power.
Yes. To include things like resilience, adaptation, humility,
Hmm.
finding a deeper, more lasting sense of self. It's about finding strength in the vulnerability, learning to evolve, and realizing your worth isn't tied to your last race time.
That's a huge shift. It's not just about muscling through pain, but learning from it, about who you are. And speaking of pain, the book dives into how enduring physical discomfort actually builds mental endurance. Is there science behind that? Does running literally rewire us?
Oh, absolutely. The neuroscience here is fascinating. When we consistently do endurance work, our brain gets better at processing adenosine.
Adenosine, that's the neurotransmitter that makes us feel tired,
Yeah.
right? Mentally fatigued.
That's the one. It increases our sense of effort. But with regular endurance training, your body adapts, learns to manage it better. You become less susceptible to that mental drag.
So you're not just getting physically tougher. Your brain's capacity for sustained focus, for dealing with ambiguity, actually expands.
Significantly. And this inner strength makes you more willing to embrace vulnerability, to step into uncertainty, to take calculated risks in running, sure, but also just in life. Ying calls it leading to a wilder, freer, and braver life because you're less afraid of things being difficult. And it goes deeper. Training can subtly change the brain's white matter, modulating myelin, the insulation around nerve fibers. This helps speed up signals, potentially leading to sharper emotional precision.
Sharper emotional precision,
Yeah.
meaning we get better at understanding and managing our feelings.
Exactly. Better identifying, processing, and regulating our emotions, which makes us more robust when facing challenges.
That's incredible. A literal brain upgrade through running. It makes total sense then that this would build what psychologists call self-efficacy.
Definitely. Running is a fantastic engine for building self-efficacy, that core belief that you can handle tough situations, that you can succeed.
How does it build it?
Well, every single time you face a tough run, push through a hard mile, or overcome some barrier, physical or mental, you're collecting evidence. Undeniable proof of your own capability.
Like building a personal library of success.
Precisely. And that confidence, that belief backed by real experience, becomes powerful fuel. It encourages you to lean into new challenges, on the trail and off, and makes you way less likely to quit when things get hard. It's a constant feedback loop.
Challenge. Succeed. Even just by showing up. Belief grows. Tackle bigger challenge.
You got it. It's not just wishful thinking, it's belief built on a history of proof.
And it's not just about brute force pushing through, is it?
Yeah.
The book mentions cognitive flexibility too.
Yeah.
How endurance helps us break out of negative thought loops. That voice telling us we can't.
Yes, that's critical. The brain is just as involved as the body, maybe more so. Cognitive flexibility gets trained as we learn how our mind interprets physical limits. We often set mental barriers way before our body hits its actual limit, don't we?
Guilty as charged, yeah.
So Ying's work points to using intention, attitude, and attention. Setting a clear intention, adopting a positive or accepting attitude towards the discomfort, and consciously directing your attention maybe to your breath, your form, the scenery.
Instead of focusing on the pain or the negative thoughts.
Right. Doing that actively disrupts those limiting thought cycles. And here's a key insight. Accepting the pain actually decreases the suffering. because your mind stops fighting your body.
And starts working with it.
Exactly. It's an internal collaboration. And that teaches you to adapt your thinking on the fly, which is a skill that goes way beyond running.
I can connect with that so much, that idea of running as reclaiming yourself.
Yeah.
That body-first way of dealing with stress. I went through this period a few years back after some major personal stuff. Everything felt out of control, adrift.
Yeah.
And my usual ways of coping just weren't working.
Yeah.
But my long runs, those hours out on the trails by myself, they became my lifeline. I wasn't fast, sometimes painfully slow, actually.
Doesn't matter.
Didn't matter at all. Each step, each breath felt like this deliberate choice to keep moving forward. Literally and, metaphorically. I wasn't trying to think my way out of the stress. I was just moving through it, letting the physical effort ground me, pull me out of the mental loop. It was slow, quiet. But I remember moments, just moments of feeling things click back into place. Like I was rebuilding myself, stride by stride, reclaiming some internal control I thought was gone. It wasn't about fixing myself, more like becoming willing to be more.
That's such a perfect example of that body-first approach, reclaiming agency through movement. And my own experience, kind of echoing Ying's points on identity, came through injury.
Ah, the dreaded injury.
Right. For years, running had become this, obligation. All about performance, validation. My identity was completely wrapped up in it. Then, bam, stubborn injury, totally sidelined.
Devastating, I imagine.
Initially, yes. Felt like losing a part of myself, just like the book describes. But rehab forced me to slow way down, to actually listen to my body again, reconnect with just moving.
A different kind of connection.
Totally different. I started appreciating just small, pain-free movements, not as steps towards a goal, but as this conscious, precious choice, a gift. It taught me strength wasn't just pushing limits.
Or was it then?
It was adaptation, listening, patience, finding new definitions of strong, choosing to move well, mindfully, instead of just fast or far. And that choice, born from rest and recalibration, built a deeper, more sustainable connection to running and myself. Found strength in the vulnerability, rebuilt with intention, not obligation.
Wow. Powerful journeys for both of us in different ways.
Absolutely.
Just a reminder, you're listening to the Runner's Paradox podcast. And this whole conversation really flows from the incredible insights in Ying's book, The Runner's Paradox.
And if you want to dive even deeper into these ideas, learn more about Ying's philosophy, and see how it might apply to your own life, you can find the book and more at therunnersparadox.com.
And as we keep exploring running and empowerment, let's circle back to that key message, the heart of Ying's work. Empowerment isn't just about doing more, achieving more. It's about becoming more whole, more integrated.
More truly yourself.
Right. It's that crucial turning point where, as the book says, you didn't just endure something hard, you chose it. And that changed you.
That idea of choice, of agency, it's just so fundamental, isn't it? Both in running and, everywhere else. Ying's work does this beautiful job of showing how running brings together the finite and the infinite in our lives.
Finite and infinite. How so?
Well, we all have finite factors, right? Things we just can't control, our age, maybe some genetic limits, past injuries we can't undo, the weather. Those are givens, fixed.
Okay.
But then there are the infinite factors. How we choose to work with our body, how we choose to respond to stress, where we deliberately put our focus, our effort.
The paradox of control again. Can't control everything out there, but have huge power over our response.
Exactly. And Ying points out that just understanding this difference empowers us. We can choose where to focus, instead of getting bogged down by what we can't change.
Feeling helpless.
Right. We can focus on the infinite possibilities within our control. And that's where growth happens. It's about strategically using our inner resources.
And Ying has this interesting way of calling running a brainless life teacher.
Ha! Yeah, brainless. Sounds provocative.
It does. But she means it starts with the body, right? It's primal, direct. Nobody else can do your running for you.
You can read all about it, listen to us talk about it.
But ultimately, you have to lace up the shoes.
Yeah. That direct physical engagement sharpens your power to choose. Every step is a choice. Sticking with it when it gets hard is a choice. It's this undeniable, unmediated lesson in agency.
That directness is so potent. It makes me think of Jean-Paul Sartre, the existentialist.
Okay, where are we going with this?
Well, his idea that man is condemned to be free, because once we're here, we're responsible for everything we do. Sounds heavy, right?
A bit daunting, yeah. The weight of responsibility.
But then you pair it with that incredible quote from Eliud Kipchoge, maybe one of the most profound things an athlete has said. Only the disciplined ones in life are free. If you are undisciplined, you are a slave to your moods and passions.
Okay. I see the connection. It's a brilliant pairing. Sartre talks about the inescapable freedom and responsibility we have. We're always choosing. Kipchoge shows us the practical path to using that freedom well.
Making it meaningful, not just being tossed around by feelings.
Exactly. Making it self-directed. The freedom running offers isn't just the wind in your hair. It's realized through conscious choice, consistent discipline, choosing to show up, choosing how to respond to discomfort instead of just reacting.
It stops you being a slave to your moods, like Kipchoge said.
It's self-mastery, learned on the run, applied everywhere.
And when you put all this together, the body-first stuff, agency, the mind-body connection, it all points towards the journey being the real source of empowerment. It's so easy to fixate on the finish line.
The outcome, the medal, the time.
Yeah. Our society loves outcomes. But the runner's paradox really argues that focusing only on that makes us miss the real gifts, the stuff the journey teaches us, which lasts way longer than any race results.
So true. Running inherently teaches us so many invaluable life skills. It's a direct lesson in navigating limits, physical, mental, and realizing they're often more flexible than we think.
You learn to cope with stress, endure different kinds of pain.
Mental, physical, emotional pain.
Yeah.
You learn to sit with discomfort, with uncertainty. You cultivate bravery when things feel impossible. These aren't just side effects.
They're the core lessons.
They're the core lessons, the gifts. They make you a more resilient, capable person, period.
So it really is the process, the effort, the adapting, the just keeping going. That's what empowers us. The journey, with all its messiness, is the best teacher.
Absolutely. If we only chase the outcome, we miss what failure teaches, what adapting teaches. We miss the real value.
It's understanding that every run, fast or slow, long or short, is a chance to learn something. The real win isn't just crossing the line, it's who you become getting there.
That's the lasting empowerment. That's the legacy.
Okay, so as we start to wind down this conversation, we really want to invite you, our listener, to pause for a moment. Reflect on your own running journey, or maybe any journey of sustained effort you've undertaken.
These aren't quiz questions, no right or wrong answers, just honest invitations to look inward, building on what we've explored about empowerment and self-discovery.
So first question, think back. When in your life did running, or something like it, really feel like you were reclaiming yourself, taking back some agency? Was there a specific moment you consciously chose it, and that shifted something inside?
Second, let's redefine. What does empowerment truly mean to you? Forget the external stuff. Speed, distance, praise. What does that internal feeling of power, of capability actually feel like for you?
Third one, how has your definition of strong evolved through running or similar challenges? Is it still just about physical power? Or has it broadened to include things like resilience, mental toughness, adapting, maybe even the courage to be vulnerable?
Number 4, and this can be a tricky one. Have you ever actually grown stronger by doing less, not more? Think about times of injury, forced rest, or just deliberately pulling back. What did those quieter times teach you about real strength and sustainability?
And finally, number 5, consider this. Who might you become if you stopped measuring everything? The pace, the distance, the performance metrics. What if you just started truly listening instead?
Listening to your body's signals, your intuition, that quiet inner voice. What might you hear?
Lots to think about there.
Definitely. And as we wrap up this exploration of empowerment, let's give you a little taste of what's next. Chapter 11 is coming up, and it's titled The Pursuit of Excellence.
Ooh, okay. So we're turning inward again, but this time looking at recovery. Not just as, putting your feet up.
Right, but as active recalibration. It ties into Ying's own story, actually. Having to consciously reset her whole relationship with running after burnout and injury.
Redefining what excellence even meant, beyond just winning or performing.
Exactly. Pursuing excellence, in this view, involves understanding that cycle, breaking down to build back stronger. Recognizing that sustainable excellence isn't about never failing.
It's not an unbroken winning streak.
No, it's about conscious effort, mind-body alignment, and crucially, embracing recovery and smart adaptation as essential parts of growth. Being actively involved in your own evolution.
Looking forward to unpacking that one. Thank you so much for joining us today for this conversation. We really hope these ideas resonate and maybe offer some inspiration for your own path.
Please remember to subscribe to the Runner's Paradox podcast wherever you listen. Share this with a fellow runner or anyone you think might connect with these ideas.
And hey, if you can, maybe listen while you're out moving. Let these ideas run alongside you.
This has been the Runner's Paradox podcast. Let's run.